Hey, what's going on with you? This is your boy, Big MC, aka Mark, aka Robert James Winterborn, aka Skater Claus, aka a lot of things. I'm coming at you today with another hip hop breakdown video. One thing to note, if you don't know about Skater Claus, it's a program I run where I give skateboards to kids in need, and you should check it out. Google Skater Claus or check out my Instagram at skater_claus, Claus. We got a skate demo coming up in the Trestle Tree Housing Projects in Grant Park, Atlanta, December 7th. So if you want to, support a good cause, check it out. Even just likes and shares help me out. But anyway, so if you haven't seen the previous videos, you should check them out. One of the things that I try and do is do artist and theme tie-ins between the videos. So you should go back and look at those. Also, one thing to note is the last two videos I had a special guest host, which was my 6-year-old son, Tyrus. And one of the things I talked about in the first video that I did with him is that, a lot of parents probably wouldn't be cool with exposing their kids to some of the stuff that we were listening to and some of the stuff that I listened to with him, because it has foul language and things like that, some adult content. But to me, it's artwork, and you can make exceptions for artwork to expose kids to things that you otherwise wouldn't, as long as you explain that to them and explain that, hey, this isn't acceptable outside of the context of art. But at the same time in that video, I also said that there are lines that I draw. And one of the reasons why he's not here with me today is because this video is about some of those artists where I draw the line. So today's video is about kind of a subset genre of hip hop that a lot of people call horrorcore. A lot of times I'd say it's people who are influenced by punk and heavy metal music, and it's almost kind of like the heavy metal of hip hop in a lot of ways. The beats are hard and also, a lot of times ominous. There's a lot of times a lot of religious imagery. There's a lot of very foul language. There's a lot of very crazy content that you wouldn't necessarily want kids listening to. So I wanted to talk to you about that today. One of the reasons why is because, again, artist tie-ins. Last video I talked about Jared Benton, and the last video I talked about Atlanta hip hop. And Jared Benton is a guy from Decatur, Georgia, so right down the road from me. And he is kind of in this small scene of what I call horrorcore. And again, it's a small subgenre, but there's kind of a group of artists who all work together, and they all do features on each other's albums, and they're all kind of like-minded, and it's kind of a small world. So obviously I'm not going to touch on everyone. There will be some omissions, but I wanted to go back to Jared Benton, and one of the reasons why was when I was looking, back through his music, he does a lot of stuff with this guy Hobson. And Hobson is one of these guys that I think of as being kind of one of the, foundational, not like he founded it, but one of the guys who really is defined within this genre. So yeah, let's go to Jared Benton. This is Don't Need You. And it features Hobson, but I'm not going to play the Hobson verse. I'm just going to play the Jared Benton verse. Again, this has a really dope music video, so check the music video out. I really like this one. The theme's really cool. So check it out. But this is Jared Benton, and again, just trying to talk about horrorcore, kind of how the beats are more heavy and the lyrical content is more heavy, more kind of in line with what, metal type of stuff would be rather than, more emotional or whatever. You could, in a lot of instances, almost say it's like extreme gangster rap too, because some of it's like street stuff. A lot of gangster rap has violent imagery. But, this would be like gangster rap to the extreme. So, you can call it what you want, call it horrorcore, call it extreme gangster rap. But anyway, let's get into the video. This is Jared Benton, his verse on Don't Need You.
Wanna die? Damn. I don't really need you. It's funny how niggas act when you down and out. Hey, what the fuck were you dog when we were grinding out? Like I ain't the shit, oh, you just count them out. I'm back for revenge, I needed time to bounce. Back on you niggas like a new ball. Middle finger go up to a couple blogs and a couple fuck boys talking dumb shit when they log on their mother's laptop. Get a spike back to your jaw. And you don't give a shit if you came directly from God's dick. I hope your pilot have a seizure in the cockpit. Your plane crash or a killer hold you hostage. shit. Side of mine, you with a broom handle or a mosh stick. I hope they beat you in a mosh pit. Bash your fucking head with a yardstick. Oh, this is what you want that dark shit. Hey, like believe a nigga with his heart ripped. Just a while ago, it was all smiles. A bunch of fake niggas, dog, I'm so proud. I seen you on the magazine, oh wow. Oh, you don't want a nigga, you go blow now. Yeah, when Hop said, nigga, fuck volume, if you Trump stop crawling, and the nigga had to get it on his own, and you bitches didn't bother, had to get it from the bottom. What the fuck were you, bitch, nigga? I gotta get it and go.
All right, so that was Jared Benton's verse of "Don't Need You," and as you can see, so the beat actually, like, you know, I think that's a fairly like standard hip hop beat. I wouldn't necessarily put it into like the horrorcore genre, but if you listen to the lyrical content, I mean, you know, he talks about sodomizing someone with a broom handle, and you know, he also brings up mosh pits. So you know, it's definitely like more hardcore. You know, it's not like I haven't heard other people, like I know Ghostface Killers use similar analogies on stuff that I would say is just more like straightforward gangster rap. But anyway, I really just wanted to kind of bring it back to Jared Benton because I love him. He's great and he's a local cat too. And also, again, there's the tie-in with Hopsin. So now we're going to go to a Hopsin song, and he, to me, is way more like, you know, he's kind of, when I think of horrorcore, he's one of the guys I think of. He's just really out there. A lot of the beats he uses are very ominous. His lyrical content is, you know, very dark. And also, he just has this unique image. He wears these contacts that are like white out contacts, so you can only see his pupils. And it just makes him look kind of weird and reminds me of something that, you know, a metal band would do. So, sorry, started that song again, but let's go on to Hopsin. This is called I Need Help. So let's listen to Hopsin's verse on I Need Help.
I just don't know. I just don't know what to do. I'm back, nigga, what's up? How you get your buzz up? I heard you signed up for your soul that the devil was the truth. Nigga, shut the fuck up. In my heart, there ain't much love. So if you get bad, then that's tough luck. And be doing shit so big, haters, I'm on your side now, nigga, fuck us. It's not madness. Yeah, I'm back up in this. I'm a real nice nigga, but I rap with vengeance. Only got bad intentions, and I'm looking for a new mouth that my nutsack can fit in. I look like an idiot to grab attention, but my new fan telling me to trash my lenses. Cause bad for business, I'm lacking senses. Feels like I'm trapped in a black dimension. Stepped in this bitch to wreck, so don't disrespect. I promise that'll be a big regret. I twist the neck, I'm looking for a fish to catch. I chop niggas up, yeah, I learned it from tech. I got hoes all over that wanna get me. They all yelling how till you turn me on. But I feel like it's the devil trying to get me. Whoa. And I don't wanna do it, niggas in me. Nigga, I'm so cool. I feel so low. See, I got a crew. I feel so low. Crew. When the wheels don't roll. Feel what I'm saying? You should either do what? I'ma give you niggas one more album, and after that is peace out. But I'm leaving you guys. You know why? The world made me feel like I lost myself.
All right, so that's Hopsin. That's the first verse off of the track I Need Help. You know, and as you can hear, he like makes references to making deals with the devil. You know, that beat, again, it's not like super, you know, metal inspired, but again, it's more ominous, I would say, than like your average hip hop track. It's not like bouncy party club music. So yeah, Hopsin's a really cool dude. I would check him out. This has an official music video. Check it out. And when you watch the music video, you'll also see a lot more what I'm talking about because, again, he's got these contacts. In the video, it's really like almost some Halloween type shit where he's like, you know, almost acting like a zombie and stuff and coming back from the dead. On one of my previous videos, I played part of a verse from a song called Am I a Psycho that he's on as well, along with Tech9 and someone else, I can't remember at the time, but again, look at that video too, because it'll kind of show you what I'm talking about as far as this genre is concerned. So again, like, you know, Jared Benton, I found out about him independently, but, you know, then when I started looking into his music, I realized he was associated with Hopsin. And I found out about Hopsin because of Tech9, and I've played Tech9 before. I played him, again, it was that verse on this song I just mentioned, Am I a Psycho, in my video about changing up your voice. And Tech9 is just one of the best independent, you know, underground rappers of all time. And he's really weird. Like, he is one of the guys, again, that I think of when I think of this genre. He's out there. I mean, he paints his face. He uses a lot of really weird imagery. He is just really out-of-the-box cat. but he's also really talented. And, you know, again, he works with a lot of other people within this kind of subgenre. And so I'm going to play the first verse off of Hallelujah, which is Holla, Holla, dash Lou, Loo, dash Yuh, Yuh. And this is actually a song by R.A. the Rugged Man, who I've played before a couple times in previous videos. It's on the album, what is it called? I don't remember what the album's called, but the album song is absolutely dope. I mean, there's at least like half a dozen bangers on it, and the whole thing's good to play through. So yeah, this is Tech Nine's verse, and as you'll hear, it's just really out there. It's really very explicit content. And then listen to the beat as well, because the beat, like I'm saying, it's a very ominous, very hard beat. So this is Tech Nine's verse off of Hallelujah. Check it out. It's got an official music video. The music video is great. And I'm not going to play R.A. the Rugged Man's verse, but every time R.A. gets on the mic, it's something that you should listen to. So check out the whole song when you get a chance. Hallelujah.
It shows when it begins, it flows timid women show genitals, then it's go when it's presentable. Finish your women, some in this moment, diminish hoes, skin it, no gimmicks, replenish, no grip, no limit, show. Call it what you want, middle finger my opponent, but I seem to fire down there. One more man, I will demolish niggas with the rawest scriptures. Y'all is just bars of shit in a style of shit, this be the hardest pisser. Then I trap her tell me, my piss enhance her belly, but I chose to give her a dirty mouth like Lisa Lampanelli. Yes, she demanded jelly, but I re-render Kelly. I'm springing the yelly and it's swell because I slam the belly. I'm a monster on the mic when I'm on her. Have a motherfucker somber cause of ill shit that I conjure. Juggernaut ain't never conquered. If she wants for me, I haunt her. Wondering why we gone, sir. Orient ticket, we hunger.
All right, so that was the first verse off of Hallelujah. As you can see there, like the track is really ominous, but there's also like the sample that's almost like choral singing Hallelujah. So again, it brings in a lot of religious imagery, which is something that they commonly do in heavy metal music. I mean, there's black, and again, like I'm calling this horrorcore or extreme gangster rap. But at the same time, it's like with metal. I mean, I'm a fan of metal somewhat. I'm a huge Slayer fan. But I'm not that knowledgeable about it, and I know there's like 1,000 different types of metal. There's black metal, there's death metal, there's thrash metal, there's this metal, there's that metal. And so, but I know in a lot of the different kind of subgenres of metal, there's a lot of like religious imagery, and a lot of tie-ins. Like there's a band I really like called Batushka, which they're Polish, and a lot of their stuff sounds like part of it sounds like it's church music, but then it's got screaming guitars and stuff. And so again here, like with the Hallelujah chorus, I mean, there's people kind of I'd say imitating like a church chorus singing, but it's very ominous beat. In the verse, the very first line is "I am the pinnacle of sin." And then he also goes on to bring up references to summoning stuff, and just other religious stuff, but like dark side of religious stuff. So yeah, that's Hallelujah. Again, listen to RA's part on it. It's dope. Watch the video. It's dope. But yeah, just trying to point out how again it's hard. The lyrical content is hard and very offensive, purposefully offensive. And also, they tie in other stuff that they do in metal, like the religious imagery. So from there, we're going to go to a track by Jedi Mind Tricks. And Jedi Mind Tricks is actually who got me into this subgenre. Jedi Mind Tricks, if you don't know, they're a hip-hop duo out of Philadelphia. I mean, the lineup's changed a little bit over the years, but basically it's a producer named Stoop who's absolutely dope. He has some projects outside of Jedi Mind Tricks, so check out anything Stoop has done. And then Vinny Paz is the rapper. And Vinny Paz, again, he has solo projects, and he also has other projects. I'm going to talk about one of them after this. But, you know, he does solo albums, then he does stuff under the Jedi Mind Tricks name, which is with him and Stoop. At one point, they had another guy in the group called Just Allah, kind of earlier on, but he faded out. But yeah, in 2003, when I went to college, someone turned me on to this, and it was a friend of mine who was into mostly like heavy metal music. He was into Tool and, you know, Slayer and all stuff like that. And he's like, oh, if you like that and you like hip hop, you should check out this group Jedi Mind Tricks. So Jedi Mind Tricks is what got me into it. So this is called The Omen, Jedi Mind. So it's Vinny Paz and Block McLeod. I heard it on a mixtape, which was called The Sound and the Fury, that Jedi Mind Trick put out. I'm guessing the original vocal part was on a track from Block McLeod, though, but I don't know. But look up The Omen, Jedi Mind Tricks, and you'll find it. But on here, just listen to how this is seriously like would offend the crap out of my mom. You know, it's purposefully supposed to be offensive, and the beat is also extremely ominous. And it's also, there's a lot of religious overtones. So just check this out and just, you know, think in your mind about, you know, mix between kind of like black metal, death metal, and hip hop music. And this is probably what their demon child would look like. So this is The Omen, Jedi Mind Tricks featuring Block McLeod.
Yeah. Vinny Paz, baby. Woo. Yeah. Looking, man. Fucking dirty. Jedi Mind Tricks. Yeah. Yeah. Brooklyn Knight. Vinny Paz. Block McLeod. Word up. Cut your fucking throat. That this really just a brain. Dirty shit. Yeah. Vinny Paz the day. That's how it go down. I fucking hate God. Hate everybody that worship him. You the gay rapper, put a fucking skirt on him. I'll fucking murder him. I got a great banger. I'm the opposite of love, kill, hate, anger. I'm the opposite of God, love. I'm a vampire, drink blood from a wine jug. I'm a divine thug, 38 and 0. Vinny Paz, Brooklyn Knack, we waiting to blow. That's probably the reason everyone hating us for. I wanna see bunny rabbits, I'm taking your dough. I'm taking your heart, then I break it apart. I should have known that these faggots were snakes from the start. I'm amazingly smart, like Christopher Rios. You'll be swimming with the fishes, look abrazi, adios. Mi gente, amigos, I'm with Block McLeod. Vinny P, Siciliano, he Puerto Rican proud. Yeah. Come on. Fucking noodles. Fucking hardcore. Come on. Real raps.
All right, so that's the first verse of The Omen, Jedi Mind Tricks featuring Block McLeod. I mean, listen to Block McLeod's verse. It's dope, obviously. But yeah, as you can see there, that is not something that you want to play for your mama, unless your mama is a member of the, you know, Church of Satan. It starts out with, I fucking hate God. I hate everybody that worships him. And then, you know, the vocal sample in the chorus is, you know, no matter who you pray to, they can't save you. And I mean, if you don't know what the definition of the word ominous is, then you just, you know, think of this song, because that beat is fucking ominous. So yeah, I mean, Vinny Paz is actually a Muslim, and so, you know, I know he believes in God, but it's kind of part of that heavy metal, death metal, you know, tradition of just trying to be purposefully offensive and trying to, it's almost like gatekeeping for the music to try and make sure that, like, you know, it doesn't appeal to squares. So, you know, it's not for everyone. And I mean, again, I love me some Jesus. I do. I love him, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with listening to music like this. And I mean, part of what the appeal of stuff like this is to me is you know, sometimes I don't want to be uplifted by music. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood and I want to put on a song and, like, you know, I want to put on Help Me Rhonda by the Beach Boys, which makes me feel good and, you know, lightens my heart. But sometimes I'm just in a bad mood. I'm in a dark place, and I want to listen to something that kind of matches that mood, and this is that type of music. Again, same. I'm a big Slayer fan. A lot of Slayer, the stuff Slayer says is absolutely disgusting. But I don't know. I like it. I can't exactly explain why, but there's different types of music for different moods, and this is just one of them. So that was Jedi Mind Trick, and so like I said before, Jedi Mind Trick, Vinny Paz. There's a lot of different projects. Vinny Paz puts out solo albums. He also though founded this super group. It's kind of like the Wu-Tang Clan, if you would, of like the horrorcore scene. It's like, and they're all like, for the most part, I don't know if they're all East Coast, but I think they're mostly East Coast underground guys, and it's called Army of the Pharaohs. There's too many different people to mention in the lineup, but definitely check them out. Army of the Pharaohs is absolutely dope. One of them is Esoteric, and we've talked about Esoteric in previous videos, who's a member of Czarface, and also, has a lot of solo stuff. So yeah, basically, Army of the Pharaohs is a collective of all these people who, like I said before, there's a bunch of people kind of in this subgenre, and they all work with each other and support each other. So this is kind of a group made up of people that are within this genre. And so I'm going to play the song Frontline, and just the beginning of it. And again, so AOTP, I mean, you should check out all their stuff. All of it's good. I'm not going to play a Vinny Paz verse on it because I'm going to go back to Vinny Paz later. But yeah, Army of the Pharaohs is what I'm playing next. The song is called Frontline.
AOTP in this nigga. We don't rumble no more. I will take it back and disrespect a nigga. Sliding before I pull that ratchet out. Going in. Why you running with those lanes that's tapped out? AOTP is frontline with they max out. And we don't rumble no more. We coming for war. I can hit you from a long range. Don't care if you draw. And your eyes can't hit what they can't see. The M1 I melt a nigga wig like gangrene. And my trees is laced, bucket is half flip. My whole team got laced, half of them rich. The other half originate from the best part. My right hook, I'll leave your face covered with stretch marks. When the swelling go down, I'm telling you clowns. My next step is filling up your melon with rounds. And this is warfare, niggas in war gear. The AOTP, whole roster is all here. So fall back if you thinking of beefing, dog. I had my nigga Reef tie your mom to a tree with bug. Heavy metal king, oh big shit, I got the haters.
All right, so sorry, I'm coughing, but that was the first verse, and I went a tiny bit into Vinny Paz's part. And again, the format of this track is something that I talked about in the video where I talked about MCs passing off the mic within verses. So this is a posse track, what I call. And like, again, I mentioned it before in the other video, but the most famous version, posse track is probably Triumph by Wu-Tang Clan. But a posse track is when you just kind of run the beat. There's not really a chorus. It's not the verse, chorus, bridge, whatever format. It's basically just the beat runs and they pass it off between all the different MCs. So yeah, check out Army of the Pharaohs. They're great, and I mean, they have so many different people. Not all of them are on every song, but you get a variety of different sounds. But in general, it's all kind of within this genre where the beats are hard, the content is really hard. It's very much either like, again, extreme gangster rap or, horrorcore is what I call it, which is more like almost heavy metal. So I wanted to go to someone who is more, popular and mainstream, just to kind of show how, again, like this genre isn't strictly defined. It's more of just an idea or a style. But I would say a lot of times Eminem falls within the lines of this. And, I think Eminem's dope. He's not my favorite, but, you can't pan him. He's absolutely talented. And so I want to play a little bit of the song Kim. which, it has an official video. I don't believe it ever got any airplay because it's just so violent. I mean, it basically is him talking about killing his wife and his baby mama. But the beat is really ominous, and it's just like the subject matter, obviously, is very, very dark. So let me just play a bit of that. So I'll show you how this genre is kind of incorporated into popular music as well.
Look at Teddy's baby. It's Teddy's baby. Oh, sweet head. Yesterday I changed your diaper, wiped you and powdered you. How did you get so pink? Can't believe it, now you're two. Hey, but you're so precious, Daddy's so proud of you.
Sit down, bitch. You move again, I'll beat the shit out of you. Don't make me wake this baby. She don't need to see what I'm about to do. Quit crying, bitch. Why you always make me shout at you? How could you just leave me and love him out the blue? Oh, what's the matter, Kim? Am I too loud for you? Too bad, bitch. You're gonna finally hear me out this time. At first I'm like, alright, you wanna throw me out? That's fine. But not for him to take my place. Are you out your mind? This couch, this TV, this whole house is mine. How could you let him sleep in our bed? Look at Kim. Look at your husband now. I said look at him. He ain't so high now, is he? Little punk. What are you doing? Shut the fuck up. You're drunk. You're never gonna get away with it. You think I give a fuck? Come on. We're going for a ride, bitch. Sit up front. We can't just leave Haley alone. What if she wakes up? We'll be right back. Well, I will. You'll be in the trunk so long.
Alright, so that's the beginning of Kim by Eminem. Honestly, like, I don't know, if you've never heard it before, it can be hard to listen to. I like it, but it's not something I just normally would throw on. It's something I would throw on if I'm in a certain mood, But again, that's kind of like, to me, that's what this genre is all about, Sometimes you just don't want to listen to Sunshine and Lollipops, You don't want to listen to Uptown Girl. You want something to match the mood that you're in. If you're pissed off, if you have dark thoughts, sometimes you want stuff that matches that. So this is definitely that. And I mean, again, Eminem's he's what? He won an Academy Award, he's won Grammys, like, he's a huge artist. But not only was the lyrical content just very dark, but the beat was very ominous too. So I would say I would put this in the same category as the other stuff I'm talking about. So that was Kim by Eminem. It's got an official video. Check it out. The whole song's good, but again, it's one of those songs where you have to be in the right mood to listen to it. If you're in a dark place, it might be a good place to go. If you're feeling good, probably something you want to keep off the playlist. So. But again, different music, different genres for different moods, and that's kind of what this is about. So, now I'm going to go into one last Jedi Mind Trick with a Vinnie Paz verse, because again, this all started with Vinnie Paz for me, and Jedi Mind Tricks is kind of how I got into this. And I was always into punk and into metal, and hearing this type of music really kind of solidified my love for underground hip-hop, because it showed kind of the breadth and depth of what can be done within the hip-hop genre, and kind of made me realize it's not all just like NWA gangster stuff, or the stuff you hear on the radio, that there's people out there kind of pushing the boundaries of what you can do within the genre. So this is Death March by Jedi Mind Tricks. It's off of, not their first album, but probably their most well-known album, called Violent by Design. It came out in 1999. This is the first album I heard by them, and the album is an absolute classic. I would recommend listening to the whole album. But yeah, this is Death March. It features Esoteric. Excuse me. It also has... like I said, Just Allah was in the group at this point, so he's on the track. But yeah, here's Vinnie Paz's verse in Death March.
We ravenous, exhume the tomb of Lazarus. You blasphemous, we bring war to pacifists. Tarantulas, burn flesh like a 9 Glock. Your mind stopped from 9 of my divine shots. Pine box is fine for a killer to run. Swing from vines and rhyme like a till in the hunt. bring the guns, your tongue is what I'm slicing. We slap tracks and attack like M. Bison. Elohim, fuck the pagans, we mock them. And take turns to burn religious doctrines. Concoctions of pain hit from 8 angles. Locked in the brain, the lacerate
Yo, I
angels.
lit mics, stick bangs, wreck nights, spit flames, fed pipes, spit frames, kid ain't shit, change act.
All right, so that was Vinny Paz's verse on Death March, and then I went a little bit into esoterics, because again, we've talked about esoteric before. So as you can hear, like, again, the beat was hard, the delivery's hard, the lyrical content is, hard, offensive, and also there's a lot of religious imagery in it. So, again, that's just kind of what I'm talking about. I know for a fact that Jedi Mind Trick is very much influenced by heavy metal and punk music. And you can see that in their music, even though they, kind of ported it over to hip-hop. So, yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about is, different subgenres of hip-hop and how, there's a lot of times where I just want to throw on, some feel-good stuff that's bouncy, some party stuff like Mighty Haiku, maybe some really emotional stuff that's softer like Atmosphere, and actually I'll probably talk about Atmosphere in the next video. Maybe I'll draw a contrast with Atmosphere in the next video and some other groups like that. But I mean, every hip-hop's just like anything else. There's a lot of different subgenres within it, where whatever your tastes are, you should be able to find something that works for you. So if you're in this mental state where you don't want to be hearing mumbles or stuff just about drugs or, bouncy positive stuff, there's music out there for you. Just check it out. Check out Jedi Mind Tricks. I mean, everyone knows Eminem. AOTP is a good place to go because, which is Army of the Pharaohs, sorry, super group I was talking about, because there's so many different people that rap, and each one of them has their own projects, so you can check out those projects and find out, people you like. Tech Nine is dope, probably one of the, top 5 best underground hip-hop artists of all time. Hobson, Jaron Benton, they're all dope. Listen to that stuff. So that's just kind of what I want to talk about, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone. Hopefully I didn't. There was something else that I wanted to say, and I'm blanking on it right now. Oh, so there was one omission here, which probably a lot of people would associate with this, which would be ICP, Insane Clown Posse. And in the past in these videos I've said I try and keep this positive. I don't like to be disparaging or negative. And absolutely, Insane Clown Posse fits within this genre. I personally don't like Insane Clown Posse at all, though, and I only play stuff that I think is dope. I think Insane Clown Posse is really corny and they're not that talented. But I mean, to each their own. If you like Insane Clown Posse, that's fine. And if you like Insane Clown Posse, check out all these other artists if you haven't heard them. But anyway, this is your boy, Big MC, coming at you from ATL. Check out all my stuff. Look for new videos. Be good and don't get captured. That's the most important thing. Talk to you soon. Peace.